How's it going, gamers? Welcome back to Metroid. Again. This playthrough is going to be a little bit different from the previous one we did. I don't ever recall beating this game without dying at least once here. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to try to beat this game without dying a single time, and if we die, we have to start all over. So there we go. Title of the video, Metroid 1 Life Challenge Episode 1. Here we go. We're just going to play as normal. Just going to grab the morphing ball right here, as we did in the previous playthrough. What I'm going to try to do, though, in this playthrough is I'm going to try to keep this unique, okay? I don't want to, like, carbon copy the other one. So we're going to do something a little bold. And we're going to hold off on getting the long beam for a little bit. Basically, the long beam is a little item that lets you shoot all the way across the screen. And you get it pretty early game. It's like right above us. Most people get other items too, like the ice beam after it. But we're going to see if we can get the ice beam first. Now, I do have a scrapped version of this exact video right here. But I didn't really like how it came out. And I actually did pull it off in that video. Which, by the way, I'm probably going to upload that to my second channel once this little series concludes. But anyways, we are gonna do that little challenge again. So can I pull it off a second time? We will have to see. Anyway, sorry that this series came so late. I do know I promised it in April, and it just didn't happen. I was a little bit busy with some other things. I want to take a break from this game for a little bit, but we are back and we are strong, gamers. Let me tell you that. We're also playing on my Nintendo Switch this time, now that I've got a capture card that can actually record some good footage for once. I'm also going to try to keep the episodes relatively short in this series, like maybe around 10 minutes is what I'm shooting for here. But knowing me, I'll probably go over that somehow. But I definitely don't want these to be as long as the Birchlands episodes have been lately. I know those have been like over 20 minutes. That's kind of a good video time for those videos. But not for this, because this is a much shorter game compared to Minecraft. We could probably knock this out in one episode, actually, if I were to like speedrun it. It would probably wind up potentially being like only 50 minutes long, which is crazy to me. Anyways, what we're gonna do first is we're gonna go grab ourselves some missiles. There's a missile tank like right over here, just to the right of us. We're gonna get that. Anyway, something I had at the end of the alternative version of this is I had the Varia suit. I got it at the very end of the episode. I'm not entirely sure with the 10-minute goal here I'm trying to reach with these videos, that we're going to achieve that, but I at least like to try and move in that direction, such as by getting the bomb. So maybe that should be our goal for today. 10 minutes, and we're going to get some bombs, okay? We're going to get some beautiful little explosives. Assuming we don't die mid-episode. Imagine if I died in the first episode, that would suck. Although, I'm going to do my absolute best to not make any stupid decisions like I did that time in Ridley's hideout in the last series. I can still remember that event. Like it was yesterday. So I don't intend to have any mishaps like that happen, so we're really playing it safe here, which is why we want the Varia suit as soon as possible here, because that's basically armor if you haven't played this game before. Lets you take more hits without dying. Anyways, now that we got the missile tank, what we're going to do is we're going to hop on back up this passage right here and go to the right, where we're going to see if we can get our hands on the energy tank. And then the bomb will also be in that direction, along with the ice beam. Now, this is where things are going to start to get challenging, because most people have the long beam when you go into this area, but we're just going to do our best to absolutely avoid all of these enemies right here. We don't want any of these guys touching us. They are very hard to hit, too, with such short range, but that was actually a pretty good run right there. Now, how do I avoid you? I just do a little something like that. It took me, like, literal years for me to figure out, for me to use my brain power to know how smart it would be to just curl up into a ball instead of, you know, trying to jump over them the more standard way. Here it is. Here is our energy tank. We're going to grab this, and this will basically double our energy right on up there, which is absolutely amazing for not dying, you know, in a series like this. But we're going to keep on going to the right, and the bomb is not far away either. Alright, here we go. First item of this run right here. Let's see how it goes. I think it's going to go pretty good. I mean, we're at full energy right now. We've got a couple dudes, you know, trying to hit us. But it's completely fine, you know. What's Metroid without a couple of dudes trying to hit you? Oh, I just wasted a missile. Alright. Let's hope one of these dudes drops it then. Perfect! Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's go right on in here. Here we go. The most normal playthrough of Metroid ever. The first thing we get is the bombs. If you haven't played this game before, it basically lets you do this, which basically means you can hit and break blocks right below you, which you can't do with the beam. At least not in this game. You can do it with your beam in other games like Super Metroid and Metroid Dread that I've played. Well, let's get out of here, and pretty much what this is gonna let us do is it's gonna let us access the ice beam. And then I'm gonna end the video. Just kidding. No. We're gonna keep going. Since we hit the goal, or at least one of our goals for this video is getting the bomb, obviously. We just got it. That's the exact bomb I was talking about. We're gonna try to get the ice beam next. Which isn't far, but I am going to do a little bit of farming here. Just to make sure we have the missiles, because there is another one of those pesky little red doors in front of it, as with, like, every item in this game. That's one missile. Or two, I should say. That's two missiles. And missiles number 4 and 5 have been acquired, which means we can officially break a hidden little hole in this hallway right here. I believe it's that block right there. No, it isn't. Okay, and I just wasted another missile. My brain isn't working right now. I think it's probably because I want this video to be, like, slightly faster paced, so as a result, I'm, like, faster paced. If you've even watched a second, like a frame of my videos, you'll know that I can be a real idiot sometimes, and that's just a completely normal occurrence here. Anyways, right on in here, this is where we can find the ice beam. There are also enemies here waiting for us. That's amazing. There's a ton of damage in this game you just can't avoid, and that's a great example of it right there. And finally, after long last, we have 5 missiles once again, which we will use on this door. And right behind here is our ice beam, and I can confirm that this does not give you the long beam, if you get it. As you can see, we're still very limited in terms of range, which is pretty good for the sense of this challenge. Now I believe the only thing really left to do at the moment is to get more of those energy tanks. They are very nice for surviving, as I said before. We're going to try to get a few unique ones in this series. First energy tank we're shooting for is going to be a little bit of a standard one. Sorry, not sorry. There is a hidden energy tank that we actually passed on our way here. It's pretty much the area where you're required to use the morphing ball to slide underneath all those blocks. You'll see it in a minute. But basically, there's an energy tank like right next to that, just to the left and on the ceiling. And you can only access it with the ice beam, because you need to freeze an enemy to use as a platform to, you know, stand up there. A little bit complicated, but I have pulled it off multiple times, in fact, and it's been pretty flawless. And it is, in fact, not down this passageway right here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze you, and then this block right there has the energy tank. We'll grab that. Hopefully. Nope. Alright, take 2. We're going to need to do something a little different here. We'll just use these 2 right here. That's actually 2 enemies. They're just stacked on top of each other. We'll just use them once they get on over here. This is probably the more traditional way of getting this little energy tank right here. But I like to use the bat method as well, because that's just cool, okay? You gotta admit. Anyways, we gotta get these guys frozen in the proper spot, which I reckon... Oh, it's actually just 1. Okay, which I reckon should be not right there, just a little farther down. I'm not gonna try to unfreeze this guy, because that'll hurt them. Wait for you to come down a little bit more. That might be too much. Alright, and it is also just out of range. Oh, man. Okay. Alright, I reckon that should be a good spot. Or not. It's too high, but that's okay. We just gotta wait for this guy to unfreeze, and then we'll freeze him again. Just a little something like that. Do that. There we go. Finally. Beautiful. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna go down into a little bold area of the map. And by bold, I mean dangerous, okay? It's not as dangerous as Ridley's hideout. We're only gonna be there for a couple seconds, but we're gonna go down into Kraid's hideout. And we're gonna get an energy tank in there that's relatively close to the elevator. And then I think we'll call it a day from right there. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is actually my favorite part in the entire game. This specific area, purely because of the music. I don't know what it is, I just really like it. Pretty chill down here. Anyways, I do believe it should be right behind this door right here, which we will gladly knock down with our 5 missiles. And then, it's all a test of survival right here, okay? We're gonna grab a missile tank, I guess, right here. We'll take that. Kind of helpful for opening doors, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, we're going to want to be sure to freeze every single enemy here, because I really don't feel like fighting anything because of that right there. Don't want to take any unnecessary risks, and if you haven't played this game before, you'll know that fighting enemies with just your blaster is kind of risky. I don't think we took the right path. I believe it's actually the path below, if it's not that one right there. So let's just go down a screen right here. Same door, good thing we got that missile tank, that's for sure. And I'm confident this should be the path, even though it looks identical. There are actually a whole bunch of identical looking paths, especially here in Kraid's lair. Right behind this fake little wall right here, there is a room with an energy tank. A pretty interesting room with an energy tank too. I mean, this is actually a unique room. This room does not occur anywhere else in the game, at least not that I've seen. Maybe it's secretly hidden somewhere else, but I'm 99.9% sure this is a unique room right here. Pretty interesting one to get out of, too. You want to find the sweet spot in the wall right here that you can travel through, bomb a little something like that, and boom, you're in the wall. There's also another passage like right below this, but that'll actually take you into that block right there. So it's kind of useless. You gotta make sure your positioning is all good right there and everything. But yeah, there we go. Mission success. And that's just about does it for this episode. If you liked what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe. I don't typically do NES games a whole lot on this channel, but I am looking to branch out and do some other things. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Yada, yada, yada. Join my Discord, link below. And I'll see you in the next one for our next adventure, I guess. We'll see where we go next episode. Probably going to be shooting for the Various suit and or the high jump boots.